Hi, everyone. It's Tanya Hertz here again, and I'm here to talk to you about our final session of the 5-part series in presentations, in virtual presentations, particularly, where we're talking about one of the most important components here in this new digital age, and that's know your technology. Don't let technology ruin your presentation. Practice to make sure that you are comfortable with the technology. And if you're using something like Zoom, where you have people watching a live presentation, make sure that their microphones are turned off. And also make sure that you've set up the meeting so that their cameras are turned off. And your camera should, of course, be on, but you might be thinking to yourself, so why, why does it matter? Why do we need to have other cameras turned off? Well, when there's a lot of people in the room, it can put a pretty significant load on the presentation, and it can cause errors in and pauses and delays because of the load you've placed on the bandwidth. And beyond that, when you have that many people in a room watching your presentation, they can be distracting. They can be very distracting, and you don't have control in Zoom over what other people necessarily see if other people's cameras are on. As the host, you can turn them off, but if they're on, you never know what somebody's going to do in the background that's going to get someone else's attention. And all it takes is one person picking their nose during your presentation to just ruin everything. And unfortunately, I'm speaking from experience here. So turn their cameras off. During Q&A, back on, but while you're talking, it should just be about you. Okay. Get rid of everything in the background so that it doesn't distract the viewers, again, from you. Any strain on bandwidth, that means save that Netflix and chill for another time. Tell your partner to turn off anything in the house. Make sure that the kids aren't going to be running through. Make sure when you are using a camera with either your laptop, your phone, or your desktop, that it's stationary, so you're not walking around with your camera. I see this a lot. It's very distracting. You also want to make sure that the presenter, you don't move around too much. Remember that you're in a very small window, and a lot of the tools that you're using to record yourself, such as I'm using my laptop, so you'll notice that the view is horizontal, sideways, and a lot of people will be watching the presentation on their phone where the view is vertical. And so if you stand over to the side, chances are you can't see me. Also, you can record. It's appropriate nowadays to actually record horizontally. I'm sorry, excuse me, vertically. But still, just because you're recording using a camera and vertically does not mean that you can walk around during a business presentation. It's inappropriate. Okay. Make sure that there are not distractions like these adorable little puppies in the background. You're probably watching them, not me right now. So you definitely want to avoid those background distractions. And you can use a virtual background, but it can be problematic, but it does cover up anything in the background that you don't necessarily want to show. So I've seen some very interesting backgrounds. I actually went to a pitch competition recently where they were pitching for big money. It was like a pitch competition with virtual, it was a virtual competition with angel investors, and I think there was something like 35 angel investors that in the audience. And one of the presenters, she had her dirty laundry hanging from the closet door behind her, and she's in her bedroom. She's sitting on her bed. Just because it's virtual does not mean that you get to just be totally unprofessional. You would not go to a presentation in your jammies at school or at work, so don't do it on Zoom. And make sure that we can see your face, that you're your face is well lit, that your audio works, that we can hear you. Nothing more frustrating than having a faulty microphone or a faulty camera. So practice to know that it works. Record yourself so that you can watch the presentation, and you can you can get rid of all of those issues. If you're an or an or you use those filler words, you'll know it when you watch that recording. If the camera doesn't work well, if the microphone doesn't work, you'll know it. One other thing that we want to make sure to talk about is, if you're not using a virtual background like this, it doesn't mean that you have to set up a fancy background, or that you need to show your home, or you'll be embarrassed about your surroundings. Honestly, you can make a very, very, very small space seem very professional, and no one will know that it's not it's not a large office in a large setting. Just make sure that the background behind you is plain and simple, so you can see with the lighting, when I have the lighting that's not right behind my face, the difference. But I wanted to show my background to you, and let me see if I can do this from here. So let me do this here, and I'm going to turn off my background. And you can see here how I have just a simple wall behind me, but that can be a little boring. It doesn't have to be a lot, but you might want to put maybe a plant or something back there to give it a little bit of visual appeal. And I'm going to turn my my virtual background back on, because if I turn this way, I don't want to do it without. If I turned that way, you can't see it, but I would be guilty of the dirty laundry. So, and I don't want to share that with the world. So the virtual background can cover all that up. So with that, we are going to end the series here. I will say, you've got this. Have fun with it. I love watching these virtual presentations. Record several of them. Keep them in your back pocket, right? Have them ready to go when you need to share a video about yourself. And having these on hand, and having good quality videos, it doesn't cost hardly anything, if anything at all. But it gives you a huge advantage, a huge edge. And the last thing that I'm going to say is, if you don't have access to a quality computer or laptop, if you're a student, we have them for you. And at the beginning of every single semester, we're loaning them out. And I have a feeling that this, unfortunately, that social distancing will be here for a long time. So take advantage of the resources that are available to you, and just borrow a computer at the beginning of the semester. I got a brand new MacBook Air again this semester. Why not take advantage? All right. Have a good one. I can't wait to watch all of your presentations, and I will see you again very soon. Take care.